I'm with our CBM Sam Wakamba yet to in your mapana so a brasso, sir, and sem a dear he or minemo, to near do boncatamu, and ne or mine punt to sem, ye pensimu, na ye do moesuko. Meno cassa a year and ne, a bodeto should do what 3 years, Saran pa mecano, say be a 1 day and ocean and so on. A cat and not a dear watch pepe 80 days. Na why never to trade the cane? Why and a bidding kugo? Why and the Benyan the force? Why and obey so bit me break A2? And I say the year of return, Emma Ghana, former president, JM. Nina December 8th, December 7th, Nyamia Doma, Nayakotoabana, December 8th, 9th. Say, Uncle run off there. Na ye better a home pompon so, na bibia etimi akoye. And ra, bibi eko so, Ghana memo. Aya bakosem sonko pa ye ne gese me pempi no yes ndrefo so steady ye ta bone ma bone hu daru e chen de ye papa nso we papa wo se ye bon hu daru if se ke ma min ka bi obi ani ahwa ne ma bi nkoyi the senti no watam dom aya sumdwe ye kire man muni nyina Ghana wo 16 regions e o man ketwa de nso hu ni pam pem na wo ye kanifo na hwese bibia be to yi a enye asem ketwa na emu ba ko pe ane kwa achewa anokwa ose NDC National Democratic Congress bia mo bia na yebo mabaso madaroma mo ye ne nkoyi a yetena ha miami di mo akotene yebo mochi se ye koyi nso a mo fata nsembo se motimi aisa dwumadi kama Ghana man ho nti na bibia akoyi sabede yebe don sem no moskote da mekan na orebi wa ha wa share kokko yebebusan se eyokotoko ana otechire ana se bibi etuem ora mo akwa
Mejo so Piesie.
Iti di Nichiren Appiah Buadi onya ho fi ha aka de ne de KTV staff aka ni di ho okan ho pa a obo amanyema akoyi osanso di mo akotene anase odi mo akotene pa e wo NDC amanyoko mu a oye omokasamafo baako nkuma na omohwe emanyema akoyi emomo no ora net sen de
Nyame adom bibia boko na ho so
nyame adom eja ishia se yache
yes
ishia se de
se mesuation
me se ka den ka me me se kotoko fan na obeye eso mi zenye kotoko nti na waba kojan yichire mu
Piesie me da se ma memfa nchiakese ma Kantanka television TFO nyina na menka se betena hanom se ya na mada romanti nti yeda mase yeda hwefo so ase se de bi omutime hwe etimi tie na etumi de nsempa no timi bro mo de meka ne se enra ewo nkramantem hanom se ewo akra ene Ghana fanan bebia most importantly the regional capitals no NDC as the major opposition party ye oyechire kese na oyechire no the fareba ye very simple ye kan nyina ne se aka about 80 days so kan na ye kwoto about December 7th about will be a fapem so gina register no so esan say regardless of how prepared you are for war no one for tactics any proper measures anto akwan mu a untumi ending kunim and about will be anso no if the register is not robust say hunya den a the tie ne say wo be kwa about no mo wo benya plan dan so plan no NCP. The American say the NDC as a political party, a party be a dimraso. And if we don't do things anyhow to destabilize the peace of the country, as I say, ye pese come December 7th, ye wini aba, e be di o minus so. Na e be di o minus wa, we cannot preside over a country that is in shambles in terms of security. Into your Ghana Magana Police Service you identify about 8 key issues in the register. And these 8 key issues, the election directorate of the NDC, led by Dr. Maneboama, raises our issues to the EC. By Kenya Kwese EC for no aye tinti. Assembly atede but ye yano, yen kashe, yet na hosa. Ye tro the Magana Police Service ebe ye tre. Eye nra na me di mutintim aye kire no me ko bi ye started wo Kwame Nkrumah circle so be hwa bebia ye wo Kwame Nkrumah ni statue no just opposite that ye wo Ghana Police Service office and a Ghana Fire Service post wo honom Ensha we were addressed by our party communications officer, the Honorable Sami Gemfi. O my tia say Ocha ye no. Ye e de akire easy for ne say omonya de papa. Enti mo bi biara enti amra ne so. Na when in Public Order Act na ubeko demonstration na the way ne say unje permission from the police but you notify them. Omo hu say okay me oye kire no mo ne watena ase akire say fa hanum say man fa hanum say esan say enra was a working day amanfo ye adwuma. Okay. And the demonstration we passed through the Central Business District close to Adabraka. Yeko far in front of City House. Eko the House of Parliament through the National Theatre. You do Parliament House, no? You present a petition to the Parliament of Ghana leadership. And you chiro say you raise several issues. Be a say it was easy. Na Piesie, for the sake of your viewers and Ghanaians, Mesan Bosubim Ameti Fwati. First issue, you can about unauthorized vote transfer. Based on our independent checks as NDC, political party, you will say about 243,540 people. Omo vote has been transferred illegally and namra kwanso. Piesie vote transfer no. Sabi, se me to abo Ablekuma West, hanum say. Na me pese me de ko Amenfi Central Western Regional. I was say me call EC office in person. Say one or two reasons into no. Say me free than someone. I got na manso Amenfi take my vote there. Vote transfer cannot be done so moto by the EC. So mon kwa tena omu dem. Ese me hwe Piesie ni ma. Sabi, me fa den ko pusika nan ko to aba. Manen to about let's see domi kwa benya. Inti illegally no about 243,540 voters has been transferred illegally. Inti Sabi December 7th, my sorry me kotuma about Ablekuma Central JT cluster of schools. My you fine because me throw me din wo ho. Na me do say me vote akọ let's say Nadoli Kalio in the Upper West region. Aso me faka e free Accra Akọ Upper West region ana. These are very, very critical issues. Second, you see unidentified vote transfer path. We see vote transfer or what? It was so the clear part say how you know. Now so unkwa untimi say there are vote transfers. Why is not identifiable because transfer vote part no. Political parties no so we should deal with intiman say Piesie, the political parties are big stakeholders when it comes to elections. And I want to say about elections in Ghana, there are two major political parties, NDC and PP. And so you can't do this without telling them how you are doing it. Thirdly, you can say deletion of registered voters. You see over nearly 4,000 voters in 2023 have been deleted from the provisional register of 2024. Matro meeting, the only way you can delete somebody's name is any pan wewu. And then nipa are challenging say onye Ghana ni. I did document prove say nipa we and so trouble ni bi. Na ne din efri so. But over 4,000 voters e din efrim ye ntumi ankyere say ye the death register na ba ye. And I went in ba ya. Na hwehwe aso. The fourth one is multiple vote transfer. They me vote free, let's say Ablekuma West. Also they are called, let's say Amenfi East. Masanko hu ewa Shama. Masanko hu esikado ketan. Multiple vote transfers. And all these things, enya de papa. Corrupted data files. Easy. Every year bia omo de omo sika ombe yusu. Ekoma Parliament of Ghana. Ehwe approve momo. Into all the things EC needs, Parliament approve, not government exchequer will release the funds for them to use. Into a banner say, "My machines are corrupted. My machines being co-year." The attorney said it will affect the election's credibility. 6, you see, EC delayed transparency. When I talk to you, Pandemic Judy, you say, "Sebe." undi bonia unsuru atemu
okay
anase se unya de boni bia unya hwani se we are free in elections you must ensure that all the parties involved no their mind is at rest no magia to say abana ye kono ombenya fairness NDC consistently yakase easy why exhibition was for people to go and correct errors said me ye bema median ba as oba ya spelling medin ye but apart from that no call the parties involved no as stakeholders in the elections into delay in ensuring say ube transparent na yenjundi papa 7 years admission by the EC of manipulations me nka asem wo hana mame nya danse on the 2nd of September 2024 EC na jitu say okopusiga they have done some illegal transfers omujitum but secondly omubaka chere say this transfers affected the elections credibility. You see, Piesie, we have seen the one in Pusigao. What have we not seen? And Tiakase only embetanasi. Na forensic auditor. Yedika. Esan say one kase no crow. What jatum? The second thing so say at the point in time yakase there are some machines at the EC area. EC babonti be dina flatly to be behind right.
Na o bonnet.
Laptop behind right. But Piesie, a media person of high repute. Yet around Eastern region, say a chairman beer or crowd BVD machines are and one in some police watching. Into all these things ne came for wire. And ye share. And Ramine, me boss, I'm giving you putting poo. Now, some more kind now near around the close to the National Theatre. All the issues he raised are spot on. Say you're quite about to man think I say I'll go and vote. Meaning Piesie, enthusiasm is not a substitute for what? For victory. Say me did this, say me winning, say me winning. But also say all the things are put in place. Until finally, see a passenger in this election, sir, Piesie. One of the most important things, sir, I will say other stakeholders, civil society groups, diplomatic groups, security agencies, and even the political parties, and above all Ghanaians, actually say what the NDC is asking for, no. So a basso no be din chua onim say the fine. But one yeah, you are giving the person the opportunity to ensure that when the person even loses, the person will have something to complain about.
Appiah Buadi and our tenant cannot wait him did say and pay. MBP term the and so Timothy did you free education and dear my ewo dentikra and run so say union more NDC amanyukum and your monkampune and one could be omunye NDC 4 per se there's omu gidi say yabato register nima bi hyedan koyi no omo so ede omo ho eka ho ema sa dwumadi no ekoso omamu ni nyina no se hu enra eno botaye ede chine fapem wo sansem no mu adudwa no na eni gisem no se enyo no nko a eni owura enye me ne ekọ de obo ensem no mu owura Alhaji Haruna Rafik, first vice chairman, Emma Okaikwei Central NPP Amanyoko. Onon so me nim sen ras or the Nico Terre demonstration nibi, and now sell here with TV so. Now the end of Jennifer home, ye are tell. Near Kokumase, and the matters are rising, our Sansemino. Did he can wear a Malkaba?
Yo, video so.
And then Phyllis was your contrast them hope and red and white. I when you bring so. Now, but you say Bibiaboko, the Rahuna.
Bibiaboko was.
Now, Alhaji, and NDC demonstration, tell versus 7 minutes in time. What do you think the whole process, the course?
All right. Thank you very much. Edika, no, Mechia, Ashefone, Etiefone. And then, again, I would want to say a very big thank you to the Ghana Police Service. Ewo ekwan fast on the manage demonstration. Which our noticing was very short, but we know the kind of people we are dealing with, so they were able to marshal their men and then to take care of that situation within a very short time. And so IGP and the Ghana Police Service, the Damwasipa. And the more reason why I made Damwasine say we have seen in time past other demonstrations are also, especially regarding electoral commission. Okay, let my vote count. a group affiliated to NPP, Omoye demonstrations about this, something similar about this, how do you call it? Voter register
now.
Yes. And we all saw the outcome. I'm sure, as he rightly said, you are a journalist and you are able to tell what has happened before. And we saw a young man, he's now late, whose eye was even plugged, you know, out of just demanding for what is within their rights. This happened in Ghana here. Today, we have a president in Nana-Yaw, Danko Akufo-Addo, and then a mate, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia. And they have led, now Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, he is the chairman of the police council, and you can see clearly his demeanor, he himself, how he presents himself. And it is not surprising, say, the police are able to conduct themselves very well. Fast forward, the issues. I say, NDC, as a political party, they are not learning. They are not learning at all, because politics is good that for all these years that you have been in it, you should be able to make an impact or learn, so that things that you do should be different from things that you have done before. At least you should grow in whatever you do. Excuse my language, but I think this is it. Enche Ibiana, ye call NDC for call election petition. Say they had won the last election. Clearly, we had their now chairman, then their general secretary, Asedun Ketia. Common collation of your own resource, you couldn't do it. I feel you are accusing the Electoral Commission of doing what? They have asked you, bring the specific issues. The ones that you raised, they have been told that they have been dealt with even before you raise those issues. So what is the point? Clearly, Utumi say NDC, they are anticipating a big lose in the next election. So they are basically trying to say they should do something to tell Ghanaians, say, even if they lose, it is not fair. It is not on a level playing field. It is because somebody will be with intentions of a election and that kind of thing. If not, how can you accuse EC of putting animals and plants in the electoral role?
Actually, EC none on the Bible until
no.
We are some operations and this answer.
Good. So, and I'm saying that what steps did they take? They as NDC, you met with the Electoral Commission, you raised your issues, and they have told you the ones that they have dealt with, the issues that came up, and the ones that they have dealt with. So you are clear in your mind, because between all the how many political parties in the contest election is? There are so many. Yeah. And the people who filed to be president in Ghana, I think they are about 24. How come, say, they are not part of whatever? I can even describe it as hooliganism, especially in Kumasi case. Yeah, yes, because you could see clearly I think they went out of the boundaries. Because clearly, we see who called demonstration.
Alhaji, say the same metric need to na ye domo suko ene ho abakosema ye korei ho no so be mention instances of some youth purported to be NPP.
Well, I felt say at a point oman conduct your mohuye.
Oh, that's how come, but we can use that without
I've seen the police report.
I agree.
After the
but we can do that without giving them labels per se.
No problem. Thank you very much. So I withdraw that. And so I feel say as a political party by now they should be able to learn most of these things. When you meet at the IPAC level and you have discussions and you have been given the necessary assurance, at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, ASI no never conduct the election. Okay. And from the utterances from NDC and their flag bearer, clearly who say they are gradually losing it. They are not sure of a victory. So the insults, look at the president, their flag bearer, the insults on EC, insults on the clergy, in fact,
what insults are those per se?
Oh, you haven't heard that. He says they are hypocrites because Dr. Bawumia has gone to the shrine. He goes and they pray for him. He goes to the church and they pray for him. And he goes to the Malams and they also pray for him. So they are a bunch of hypocrites. And this should come from a man who has been president of this country, whom himself, Onwangasano, will call to most of these areas. Yesterday I was watching a video that the caption where he has visited shrines, he has gone to the church, he has gone to chief imam, other mosques, and all that. But you are a Christian. So we live in a country that is supposed to be housing all other religions. So do you says, and then if you become a president and you are a traditional leader, you cut out Christians, you cut out Muslims and the rest? No. So this is what Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is doing. He's a Muslim. He doesn't believe in the traditional whatever. He doesn't believe exactly. So he is conducting himself well. And for me, my advice to NDC, any flag bearer, and say the fact that they have seen clearly so almost lose election. No? They shouldn't hang on some of these accusations, allegations, and things to make a case. We know that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is going to be the next president, inshallah.
Inshallah, no, ana near Alhaji Haruna Rafik on the first vice chairman Okaikwei Central and PP Amanyoko was here on the umse Omaya de Obogana Police Service Abaso and Penfua Kenya and Nemo NDC Kamea say Omo who send a Nemesico within 80 days. No, I say, yeah, you who some very Sebu and Casemu, the Senti Anomoya Niamano. It's also Nadinche Atuja. And he just say in Penfui, Etro Madrin or more Kebi. To me, I will Ghana for and until Kantanka TV. Yeah. I will say streaming live on Facebook or so. Once watching share over to me their money or also call Nako like it, Konako share na amemu pa and Central Juma pa teach you to say the year Kantanka TV. I think the denim and then to Quenim. Yama no moment down so. Chain we were back no phobi, not Mampenny, no I am a poto. There be Yankonsa, Nabibia and Quay. Yet I was a baby, so I saw Edia May, Yami and shout. And they just send me a course swing in Emuno. Arahosem say Famba could be 16 regions now 1 out of 16 day Ubeka isolated incident. Then so a series as ya answer one sema intimidate in Sembe Breba. Ye call Ashanti region, the Obonkata Sabri and daily guide or say NDC demo protesters police clash in Kumasi and anope na sewahe abe fontin so EC local officer war Ashanti region omoglass Appiah basabasa na utimu se ensweni say ye den mempanyi fo nso edi omani edi nsem na chi ntimisa ko Nichiren Appiah Buadi ensem we de ono ani fi na ahwe de course ebinom na stubborn ana se bibi wo ho ayenim na untimi mo isan komo imo ora Buadi
yes me that say Haruna so me chiao I'm happy say at a point in time, no, assembly or can ya na emfa kwa mwatwa sign. That's a gentleman, but no one say no correct into watwa sign ne kwan so no. Piesie me ka kire wo say na me wo Kwame Nkrumah second opa no. And ade ba kwa me ni so yi pa ne say your party chairman kan say police for e ba ho no. They were there purposely to protect the protesters. Now much the route towards the demonstration. He threw a word of caution, said, these police people are not our enemies. And so true. As I said, a police for no so no. Sebi, amemu fu ekoso no. They are also in Ghana. In my mind, I even told myself, say, when you are protesting, now oshe atare fufu if you are crowd one sedante, but tuntumwa obre. And if we are protesting for 5 hours, it is like police who are working for 5 hours. And your idea said we are turning against the police. The demonstration was not against the police. And to be sure, free Greater Accra region, Takrade, to Koforidua, to Wa, all the other areas, no, Eko Boko. It's answer. The kind of information we all got no, was to ensure say yen demonstrate they achieve the purpose of the demonstration. So we'll present a petition to the various EC offices across the length and breadth of the country. I was happy say okay say a isolated incident. You see, my control nkwara my control nipa be breda. Me can't be say controlling people in their excitement mood no enye easy. So say man you say na nipa no won ani gie mood no enye easy. Enti after me ba fi na mo say no Nkrumah say there are some slight disagreements between protesters no and the Ghana Police Service and the EC. We see Piesie so hwemu a they about and say Tama protesters ne do EC office Kumasi no almost EC office, and almost share the same, area with the RCC in Kumasi, Regional Coordinating Council in Kumasi. And that place, unim RCC will be close to a Greater Accra, say, or the Kotigu office, close to the Accra Technical University. It is never a security zone. So what's a call just service be war RCC be a security zone. Secondly, with alcohol, RCC is not a security zone. But the fact is, I'm going to do honor. The information they were now giving is a to me and call further in a security zone. And the approved route I'm agree on. So the police were now preventing them. Is an advocate of violence. I will never support anything close to even violence. But the fact is that so only bit nasi, say obey, na edu sada no so na so san wadwen a e de basabasa ntawanta waba. Enti I condemn completely. Omo e de mra hye omo nsem ekopa EC for glass na ade no. I also condemn the fact that the EC themselves in Kumasi were trying to prevent the protesters from giving them the petition. Petition no de age. Sa ontu wana mompo a waje. But say ya dia tum se obeye ni edu also be bi no. Na sabi you have not been fair to the protesters. And what I will say is the Ghana Police Service in Kumasi omo independent investigation. So anybody who was culpable in this particular disturbances now on FONTOMFROM council. Now crime there any political coloration. The police must do what is right and the EC must do what is right. Then to bring peace.
Asempa etia Nichiren Appiah Buadi netin Alhaji. Asem krona so daily guide ediaba. Arhoseme koso Kumasi. Uhun say.
Well, said okay, I'll pick it from maybe or NDC. Me say I just hope say if the police conducts a more investigation, private investigation, and they come out with any findings and people that are culpable and they go for them. The same people will not come and say political persecution. I know and what NDC is capable of doing. And I won't be surprised, say, Yokochi be in there. The next minute, there will be another. We know what they are capable of doing. In Tamale, apart from Kumasi case, they were burning ties. Was it part of the arrangement, say, Mukako presented petition? Now, you go to the extent of even burning ties. What is your intention? You get it? That is so bad to the extent that as we speak, when you say police need Bako at the hospital receiving treatment, I think it's in the report that came out. Yeah. Yes. How can you go to that extent because Ope to Minty? You get it? There are approved routes. Before Ope call demonstration, you sit with them and agree. So how on earth do you expect me to say we should believe what the NDC is saying and not believe what the Ghana Police Service is saying? They are not saying don't demonstrate. And it's good, say, Onwangasa acknowledge, say, they were there to protect the demonstrators.
Ghana Police Service.
Exactly. So if they have been able to do this in 15 regions and only one, then we have the NDC and the leaders in Ashanti region to blame. Because those in Accra, as they complied by routes now, they almost said they should go by, Has someone touched anyone? Have you heard any incident like this in Accra? Have we heard that in other regions? No. So it means someone somewhere did not do the right thing. And that's why the investigation will go on. And when they come for your people or whoever that, caused those troubles, let's not come back again and say that is... but generally, I feel, say, NDC must up their game once again. They must understand that it's just an election that we are going. We were in this country when President Mahama told us that if you have a case, you just make your case and allow the EC to work. Not only one. Even the General Secretary, now Chairman, has equally said that if you don't trust in the EC, then you have no business going for an election. But in this country, we had
it. Given, sir, or a few minutes, but given, sir, what I'd just like to ask, don't you find it very interesting, sir, this issue of audit, as far as at least Fourth Republic is concerned, MPP more the market in the power. In fact, more is not here for international audit. So ironically, the current EC, in the person of Jim Mensa, was the head of IEA around 2014, 2015. She was making similar calls. In fact, saying the EC should set with the opposition party then, which was the NPP, to go through all such stuff. One say history here repeating the whole, but I say don't you find ironic? Some more trim home if it's any man hold now.
At the time,
and I say the register near fine.
Maybe at the time now the calls were made. You know, I asked you a question earlier on. How many political parties are contesting this election? So many of them,
of course.
But how many of them have issues with the? I've listened to quite a number of the other political parties, and they don't share the same sentiments. But in our case, when we're doing the Let My Vote count and all that, we had the support of all other smaller political parties. You understand? And that should tell you clearly that if you have the support of the masses or even their turnout for their demonstration, how was it? It was bad. I personally, Dakar when I saw it, I was there. Dakar when I was there, I was around ministries. I saw your people, packets of people around the National Theatre. It was not a massive. This is not a demonstration that we know. How many people turned up?
But even if
you get it, but the point is, you ask about the audit, and I'm saying that how was it handled? The calls were made, but how was it handled? Eventually, you get it, because the EC at the time believed that what they had done was okay. And we were told by the president then and his party executives that, look, we need to trust that the EC cannot rig the election for anyone. Eventually, after the beatings that we received and all that, they did what they wanted. And what happened afterwards? You get it? So it is not wrong. I'm not saying it is wrong for them to ask for what they are asking for. It is within their right.
No, but Nami Busao say, I mean, the promoters of accountability in Bibiana this time, with all that about, it seems the environment the EC by NPP like thumbs up, they're okay with it.
Because none of our works, our research has shown that there's anything to be doubtful about. So why should we? Even
when the EC about Bontia because say
yes, and they have
it contains names of animals.
Good. Aside saying that, they said they have worked on it. So what else do you want them to do? I have done the work, and I've told you yes, exactly. Why not? Okay. We trust the EC and we believe that the EC, this is the same EC that conducted the last elections, that NDC claimed that the election that was conducted by this same EC, they won it. Only for them later to come and be telling the whole world that it was even by divine intervention that they lost the last election. Yet, they made people die because they claimed...
retract it. Why?
No, exactly.
The NDC didn't make anyone die.
They made a claim that they had won. So based on that, people came out in the streets, demonstrated, did all that they did, and that led to some people losing their lives. That led to some people losing their lives. Exactly, but who called it? Who called for anyone's death? No, they called for them to come to the streets, to come and demonstrate, to come and do whatever they did.
Like they did yesterday.
The people, good, but that one was not a peaceful one. It was not an organized. They didn't have permission to do. They just came out the way they used to do their things. And that thing happened. So if I lose a brother, a father, or a husband, do you think I will ever forgive such a political party? And those people who even died, ask yourself, how many of them have been attended to by the same NDC political party? Ask. Wow. You get it? So we must be very careful at this time. And for me, my caution is to the youth. We should be very careful. Let's not look at somebody's interest, somebody wanting to be president at all costs again, for rest to be used. Because at the end of the day, in those demonstrations, you will never see their children. You will never find their family members in there. Yesterday, I found some Kaya people. They were struggling. I had to give money to some of them. I noticed they were hungry after the demonstration.
Alhaji.
And if you ask clearly, if you ask them why they were at the demonstration, some of them cannot even tell you.
Well,
yes, I asked one of them. That why did they come? They said that's what they were told. They don't
Haruna,
even know why they
Rafik, or no, and the first vice chairman, Emma, a year, Okaikwei Central, NPP. Utimu say, once I chena drink, I can sempa. The Okai Tratwo, and we say, hey, Ghana buy it to me, Piesie in South Mefuaso. Unia, ye pray, I'm being penny for a adventure. We say to say the Omahusu Etienne. We sing Bekoko, we sing Pefita, we nyan tokwadi. Unia. Dodwana, both sides, NDC, NPP, CPP, Akoko, Alpha Franto, Onwani, Dodwana ma, any Omabusia for our butcher. Sabra make us a month for Pevis Akrama, Madishi, Eko. TDNT and out a taifa, what a choco. Now Beko was our way hunty, now Aquaje bullets, Aquaje second, now we free mu ya. You know, no Sebu, Techiman, no free mu ya. Yame and from currency, you go so I bompire momo dear. And so be seen, Omoko, Abayomun to be. Why and the Kujana momo. Inti additionade Emma Yenina. Yanto so e won nsem no mu dia. Kame se ora Nichiren ne nsem a Ray King and Vice President Nsem Koka wa amasaman AI penti. Be fast story no war Sabri Daily Dispatch akache. O say Brofka say Mahama knows he will lose, so he is frustrated, attacking everyone. That's Baumia on Mahama. Nichiren.
Piesie me that say. Say NDC pay futua. It won't come from my good brother Alhaji. Say so we futua or the between the political party no. Then they will be able to win the elections.
Why?
No. Alhaji say demonstration Nipamba is a palpable falsehood. I was there myself.
In Accra.
And I saw the crowd. But the fact is that it's not about the crowd in per se. It's about the import of what we were trying to put across. And the most important thing is that most people at the demonstration knew why they were there. Very, very simple. I had the microphone explaining things to people on the demonstration. Speaking in Twi and in English. And what I would say is it is a figment, it's a figment. Alhaji, I didn't interject you.
No, I'm just saying from your own statement.
My highlighting the demands we were making. They are trying to skew the election for the MPP. But it is very, very important for us to let people know the real issues we are raising. And you can't tell me that you've gone to meet some imaginary Kayaye, maybe in his dreams, and say he gave them money.
I even took a video.
Then you tell me, say, he didn't know why they were there. That is not true. Secondly, Piesie, Mamenka said, you're probably desperate to become president. And not Dondramani Mahama. It is the supposed economics are why a bus conductor. He wants to be president at all costs. Let me tell you why. Piesie, you may not be able to state it here and now on TV. But if we pick the indicators, you put everything side by side. Ushe Abrabo NDC boy from Mills time, His Excellency, to John Dramani Mahama time. Anybody who will tell you that life is better now, no, I said you want to say. I can say this authoritatively. We are more than 10 in this studio. Piesie, I can tell you for a fact. Pick all the indicators. For the prices of fuel, CD-dollar ratio, the price of basic essential goods. Then you come and tell me that who are also here the head of the economic management team. And you to say no, who are desperate. But you're telling me that somebody who has a mission say you better reset Ghana. I come back on the path of progress near desperate. You see, Piesie, I will give you a stroke. You can't feel your legs. And you think everything is just like static, just like yourself. His Excellency, the Vice President, Dr. Baumia, yeah, Penipa 5 in this world. Oh, we are desperate to get something. He's the one. John Dramani Mahama is on a campaign trail. And then Nanka Minim say, because I will be a hypocrite, a insult.
Mame now I say, Nichiren. Minim say, and some Edoson, so your brain tea, everybody tell. Alhaji, since I should fit a tougher, now you're quite.
Okay, so I think basically, make Hwasem Kakra earlier in my earlier submission regarding His Excellency John Dramani Mahama comments in utterances lately. Honestly, me a sure answer also what to be. And most of us in this studio, as he keep making reference to, have listened to it. But does it, when you would say Nekasa, does it tell you this is someone who has been president or who still wants to lead this country?
So, and
to me, Ebien Anuka say Abain Funwe, Meba Nyabotre, Abain Funwe, Appiah, no problem. Appiah, what this Appiah, and Utia every Ghanaian student or SHS, the fees, emano, aban that has built more hospitals than you, your government. Please, relax. I can even mention 50 of them too.
So, keep your hand on the ball, please.
So, Appiah, that has been able to introduce drones in this country. How do you call it? In fact, roads that Appiah are building, you can't compare it in any way to your mama Appiah. That is the more reason why interchanges are Appiah way AC. Maybe interchanges are Appiah way AC. There's no way you can compare that one to that of NPP. So there's no basis for comparison between NPP and NDC. The gap please just allow you ask me to. Yes, the gap between NPP and NDC is so wide. Appiah, when you were there, who cancelled nursing training allowance? Who cancelled teacher training allowance? We came and we have brought it back. And under NDC and your mama, we place a ban on public sector employment. And there, Appiah, in the history of Fourth Republic, no government, not even Kufuor, has created more employment than this government. Under President Mahama, Okaikwei said, he, under him, we had unemployed youth association. Under President Mahama, we had unemployed youth association. Okaikwei said, he's a dead goat. He has seen more demonstration. He cannot do. He cannot put money.
Would you say based on all these reasons, no?
Based on these reasons, based on these reasons, no. I know, say Ghanaians are their eyes are well open, and they can tell between the difference between white and black, and they know the impact this government has made, and every sector of this economy. That is why Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, every day, even yesterday, in his address, he said he needs a debate with President Mahama. How come that President Mahama is afraid?
Haruna, Rafik, Mame and now I see Nichiren Appiah Buadi as that can say, Odia. Na sene de bia ye si no ewo FONTOMFROM dwumedi so aha ana ye de bibia ebeba na wiye state issues ana ye di nkomo nti me kan no kebi mami kebi adwenkyere nti MPP NDC empanyifo ewo ha no adwenkyere anom de amai kama se wohu omo wiye kyiri se omo si sesere we kyiri na omo ye kanana obi nka nkyerɛw se MPP ni NDC die omo di fufu kro ene abekro ho ensa nti se wo pre we kyiri no nti na watam se ga na election we na me preso Al-Qaeda ni Baghdad obi be se wona oble unia Ghana enko bebia Ghana si haya nti enhwe na bibia enkoye na sene MPP ni NDC bomo no odobia ni ho echen no age me ene headmistress Abnachi Buachide sabri obegina mechi mighty power chichi ache se emulate mama odin sempa no ebreme nti ha ana mede be somo no beba na we ebeja ma headmistress Abnachi Buachi no di aka nso atwa so abna
moni ejuwa pa Piesie ye dashafo ene obibi oje pressure jumedi ase se wenti mini ashase ashano so see stream live on Facebook at Kantanka television or call with me ashe jumedi ni nyina dene guest omo passive through nyina so ye damase munim say election season mo na yewo e kabi mamen kabi se wote se eye enuanom abanu betena ha na mo ye gege ye na yese ampacho wadwimo no ehu ne se wo mo eye atamfo omo ye adofo ye free ha se ya omo kasa bom edidi bom ebon komo bom eye business ebom sika bom wo omo botom eti se wo mo wani bere kwotwe sekan e wo nua so a eye wa wo sempa mara no so omo a obi kwanfa na ni mehwe mehwe wadidi anase wonidi ye enti hwe wo nua NDC ni se wo ye MPP ni a wo ye NDC ni so hwe wo nua MPP ni na hu ne se mo ye nuafo mo nya atamfo minim se watie no asopemu nti asrakese nkomade ntakru nso etijina pa mode aboy ene eye wukwade de wo ye bia mesi nya mese o mane ye inshama na de wo ye nso no do them in moderation ene ene etine dwom di dwumade ho chiama medinde abenachi wache mene
Piesie Nana-Yaw Safo
FONTOMFROM
oh my ekasabafo